Hi, Russell Sturgis here with the next instalment in our discussions on the 5 principles of the Enhancers Awareness Program. Over the last couple of posts that we've done, we've explored the 4th principle of the Enhancers Awareness Program, which says when something's authentically observed, it changes. Last time in our video we discussed the whole notion that we each have a life sentence or a story that makes change impossible, that keeps us locked into replicating a series of behaviours that in fact get more cemented the older we get and the more ingrained, the more unaware we are. So I introduced in that last blog the idea of enhanced awareness and the fact that we have this capacity to be able to start to change this by becoming more aware. And in this blog, you're going to find some ideas about how to have yourself be free of your story. It's kind of interesting that many people have alluded to this whole notion that we see the world and we engage the world as we are and not as it is. And it's like when we're in our story, we have this belief system that we hold about ourselves that we project onto other people and then believe that they see us as we see ourselves. And so we have this self-perpetuating story that keeps on going around in circles that is based on only one belief, and that's our own personal belief. And we have it be part of our story that everyone else sees us in that way. And so what happens is nothing's able to change because we keep on feeding this circulating story about our own lack of worth, our own inability, etc., etc. So to break that cycle, what's required is the ability to be able to observe what is, be aware of the fact of whatever is presented before us without giving it a meaning, which, as I indicated, will always be the meaning that we have about our own worth and about who we are. And so in this blog I explore what that looks like, what the practice of awareness would be, and what the implications of that are. You see, the whole thing with awareness is that when we're truly in awareness, there's nothing of us in what it is that we're observing, whereas when we're in our story, in fact, it's all about us. So this whole new way of approaching our lives is based on the idea that we just see what is without it having anything to do with us, except that in awareness, one of the things that we will do is ask us how what it is that we're experiencing this moment serves us. We don't have it be right or wrong, it's just more serving or less serving. And so what we then do is align what our experience is with our values in terms of what's important to us. Now, in our story, we have a set of values that are about meeting the needs that we have in our story, not being noticed enough, not being smart enough, not being perfect enough, etc., etc. In awareness, we are in a place where our values begin to shift, because as we become more aware, we see more widely and we're able to see the needs of the planet, the needs of other people, even our own needs ultimately. And we're able to respond to that through empathy and compassion. And so what happens is we develop a set of values that are based, and these are what I would call high spiritual values, that are based on empathy and compassion. And all of a sudden, the way in which we engage the world is very different, because it's no longer about having our needs met, it's about how can I serve. The beauty about that, and I make reference to this right at the end of the blog, is A Course in Miracles has a really wonderful quote where it says, "Giving and receiving are the same and they happen in the same instant." So what that suggests is that as we become more compassionate and empathetic to others, we bring that to ourselves and it's reflected back to ourselves. And so what happens is our reality and our life experience becomes very different. So, in fact, when something's authentically observed, our life, for example, or us, then it changes. And it doesn't require the discipline and the hard work of flogging ourselves to change our attitudes and beliefs. It just requires us to practice maintaining awareness. Hope you enjoyed the new blog. It's kind of an interesting engagement. It's a more challenging part of the concept, but it's fundamental to the Enhancers Awareness Program, and in fact that's why it's called the Enhancers Awareness Program. We help you to enhance your awareness. If you'd like to know more about that, please go to our website, eapmentor.com. If you'd like to discuss any of the principles that I talk about in the video of the blog, please contact me, Russell, at eapmentor.com. Take care and speak to you next time. Bye.